Jaune and Amber landed the warship to where the Atlassian soldiers were waiting for them. They then boarded and arrested every single one of them. Jaune now felt a chill. Jaune. Amber, let's head back to Amity. Amber, is there a problem? Jaune, I feel something is wrong. She reached out to the Force and felt something was wrong and it was pulling at Jaune. He used Force speed as Amber followed behind him. They arrived to Amity and saw students fighting Grim. What happened to Glinda? He looks around in worry until his eyes fall upon someone he has never met before but felt something odd. It was Salem. So this is the one responsible for delaying my plans? I'll say this, I'm not impressed. Jaune didn't respond as he glares at her hand as he sees Glinda battered and bruised, held by the collar of her blouse, clearly exhausted. Glinda. Ugh. Salem. Oh, sorry, I forgot about you. She throws him towards Jaune's feet as he knelt and check on her, and she seems to be okay for now. He looks to Amber, who picks her up but couldn't avoid her gaze. Salem. The fall maiden that Cinder failed to capture. Jaune. Amber, take Glinda and go back to Ironwood and get Ojpin. Amber. But. Jaune. Amber, where should you be? Amber. To safety? Jaune, now go. Amber carries Glinda and Force jumps away. Salem. Sigh if you want something done right. She raises her hand, and a magic circle appeared as she aims for both Glinda and Amber, what she doesn't realize. Her hand was crushed as she looks at Jaune, who looks different. Salem's hand healed, but she stared at the young man with burning yellow eyes. Salem. Interesting. Jaune engages his saber that was dimming to orange rather than red as it appears that the crystal didn't bleed fully. She then conjures her magics. Jaune replies with the Force flowing through his body. He then went in aggressively but with a great degree of control as he did not let his emotions get the better of him. Jaune went in using Nyman as he switches forms as they battled. Salem launches elemental magic at him as he uses the Force to counter. She releases a torrent of flame as Jaune opens his palm as the fire scatters away from his body. She then increases the power and sent lightning his way as he blocks it with his lightsaber as he then charges at her. The witch then conjures numerous elemental projectiles to hurl at the knight, but with Sorisu he blocks all of them as he advances. Salem switched tactics and made her black nails longer and sharper as she swipes at the knight. Jaune then switches to Adora to dodge her swings and gets into her guard and blind spots as he slashes at her back, causing her to recoil in pain as she feels burns. She tries to slash at his head, but he ducks and cuts her hand off. Salem howls in pain as she glares at her wound, seeing it did not only slice her hand off, but burns it, keeping it from rapidly healing. It takes longer than 5 minutes to fully regrow as she tries to back off from fighting him from close range. And then she resorts to more stronger magics as Jaune counters with the Force. I will not edit this to remove Oscar's suffering, just imagine every toxic cringe self-inserts in his place. But Jaune closed his eyes and turns off his saber as he... Jaune, you still have much to learn. Salem was utterly shocked at the magical prowess of this boy. She stopped fighting, which caught Jaune off guard. Salem, this is something new. I am intrigued. Jaune, you expect me to just stand here and let you talk? Salem, no. But I am curious. Why is someone of your caliber working for someone like Ojpin? Clearly he is keeping secrets from you. Jaune, I don't expect anyone to be fully trustworthy until they earn it. Salem, pragmatic way of thinking. You've become more interesting. Jaune, you lead this attack and you think we're just gonna talk things out, especially after what you... Salem, I see. That woman, she means something to you. Jaune. Salem, sigh, a word of advice, don't get too attached. It leads to nowhere good. Jaune, I'll be the judge of that. Salem, believe me, I'm the perfect example of holding on too much. Jaune. He glares at her, trying to see any deceit, but can't find any. Jaune, what stopped your rampage in the first place? As he kept his saber on guard. While he spoke, his burning yellow eyes fades back to its sky blue color. That caused Salem to raise a brow. The blonde hair and the blue eyes reminds her of her previous human form. Jaune waited for reinforcements and just talked it out like one of those Jedi negotiators like Obi-Wan. She walks around him, inspecting the Force Knight. Salem, what is this weapon you posses I have not seen before? Then a new challenger enters the field as Ochbin. And Salem. Salem. Oh, it's you. Jaune looks to Ochbin and back to the woman. Jaune. So this is your ex. Salem, you're talking about us to other people, and here I thought that would be the secret you keep. Ochbin drew long memory and tried to fight, but Salem waved him off. Salem, like you and your dwindling powers can hurt me. It's this new pawn you have that got me to stop. What part of Remnant did you find him? Jaune, are we seriously gonna just talk all day? Salem, would you prefer we be at war? This lifetime has been so droll, and believe me, immortality is not what it's cracked up to be. Jaune, you sound like someone who has nothing else to do. Salem, after failure, of course I was mad at first, but what's the point? So, Ochbin, you changed your approach? Hence this unprecedented attack. Salem, well, yes, at first. But then I met him and I don't know. He seems familiar. Jaune felt something from the Force, and he was conflicted. It can't be true. The three just looks at each other. And the battle for Vale ended abruptly.